suspects. We don't know who he's working with. When he was booked into the jail today, he gave very little information, and that's what we're still going on. That's why this is an active investigation. Today, he will be booked on felony charges of animal cruelty. However, we are confident that as this investigation goes on and we get the results from the vets and things coming back, there's going to be multiple felony charges for this individual. We also do have information that he was charged with animal cruelty in another county here in the state. So this isn't his first time. He knows what he's doing, and he needs to be held accountable, and that's what the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office is doing. So we are going to send you videos and pictures of his perp walk when he got booked into the jail, and more disturbing pictures of what we found on property. All the dogs, like the chief deputy said, we were trying to get pictures because we wanted to see what the status and how they were. We couldn't even go over there, to be honest with you. We were told they have lots of diseases, worms, parvo. The conditions are terrible, but our MASH unit, this is what they do. They're excellent at it, and they're going to bring these dogs back to health. Once they are, obviously we have to go to court proceedings and the legal issues. They could be turned over to the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office and then adopted out, or we can go through the court process. However, right now they're being held as evidence because that's exactly what this is. It's a case of neglect on those dogs. So with that, I can answer any questions. The chief deputy is here to answer any questions that you have as well. So, Chase?
You said that the suspect has been evading you guys for the past 4 to 5 days. How were you able to find him?
Well, detectives have investigative techniques that they use to try to find and track somebody down. We had information from neighbors. We knew where. We had obviously spoke to them over the phone, so that helps us into where we're going. Affiliates, things like that. I won't go into too much details, but we have ways to track people down, and he was actively eluding us, and we were able to take him into custody so he could face these charges.
Can you see if he was found, like, here?
He was found locally in the area of 99th Avenue in McDowell, so here. Yes, he was.
And then, if you wouldn't mind just saying, how many dogs were found, and then how many were unfortunately deceased?
So 11 adult dogs and 7 puppies. That's what we have right now. I say 3 deceased dogs because one was completely to bones inside of a kennel. And then we found what we believe the mom of the King Corsos inside the home, deceased. And then there was another dog that the puppies were pretty much feeding on to survive. One of the statements from one of the neighbors said that they hadn't seen anybody in over 2 weeks, and that's just an estimate. So we don't know how long these dogs have been out in a pretty remote area of Gila Bend.
From the dogs that you have right now in custody, do you think they're all going to make it, or are some very at risk of dying?
They're getting veterinary help right now, constant. Like I said, we couldn't even go over there. We wanted to check up on these dogs, give you guys some pictures of what they're doing, and it's terrible right now. So it's too early to tell. Diseases, a lot have eye conditions, things like that. So we'll see what happens. Well, we're hopeful that they all pull through and we can see what they look like after they've been rehabilitated here with our MASH unit and possibly put up for adoption.
Any more, sir, you can tell us about the person who made the call and how involved they were and how important that is again?
Well, I'll tell you what, we have a tips line, but at no time should anybody shy away from calling us directly to a call for service. And that's how it starts. Patrol went out there because of a call for service. And that's what we want to see. The chief deputy and the sheriff have been going to different areas of the county, speaking to the people. We were at Gila Bend a couple weeks ago, and there was a gentleman at that meeting that brought up some concerns with animals, and he is directly related to this. So this is what this is. This is the sheriff and this administration hearing the people and acting on it, and that's exactly what we did. But this can't happen without the public's help.
You said that he was selling these dogs on social media. Do you know how long he has been doing this?
It's my understanding he's been doing this for a while now. This is from people we've spoken to in the neighborhood and just people in the area. I can't tell you what social media platforms, but I'm sure you'll figure that out. So, but that's part of the investigation at this point. It's a county up north, and I'll let you guys do the research on that. But yes, we do have information that he was charged locally here in Arizona.
In regards to the social media and selling, do you know, was it just selling just to regular people? Was he like breeding these dogs for fighting or anything like that?
We don't have information right now that they were being bred for fighting. We do have information that he was selling to different people out of state, possibly, and in state here. So this has been going on for some time. And like I said, this is something that could have been brought to our attention a little sooner had we just got a call for service, like the gentleman did for this case.
I know it's more of a prosecutor kind of question, but can these charges make someone stay behind bars for a good while? Because it sounds like this guy's been in and out before.
Yeah, that's definitely a question for the county attorney, but we are committed 100% to working with the county attorney, whatever they need. We've been working this case since the 5th, and we're able to bring him into custody. So now he's got to go through the legal process and see what happens. But absolutely, this is something that we'll work with them to see what happens. So if that's up, Chase?
Sorry, just a couple more. Just kind of like we were talking about how with this new administration going after these abusers is now going to be kind of a larger priority for the sheriff's office. Do you wouldn't mind maybe just talking about that a little bit more, going after, these suspects, these criminals who are abusing these animals, and how important that is to the sheriff and this administration?
It's an utmost priority for this administration to go after those that abuse animals. It's one of the things that Sheriff Sheridan campaigned on was that exact thing. Every stop that he made along the campaign trail, people asked him, what are you going to do about people that abuse animals? And he's made it very clear his direction is to bolster an animal crimes unit and do that very thing, investigate and hold accountable people that don't do what's required of them, and that's provide food, water, and shelter.
Sir, if you don't mind me asking, when you were just explaining what was going on and just these, like you said, deplorable and disgusting conditions, dogs feeding on the corpses of other, dogs. Just in your experience, would you say this is one of the toughest cases that you've witnessed here at the sheriff's office?
Been around a little while. I've seen some pretty bad things in my time. This is certainly one of the most disgusting and deplorable conditions I've ever seen animals be in. Certainly in the last 3 months that this administration's been involved, this is certainly one of the most disturbing things that we've come across.
Is there anything else you want to say for other people who, we're hearing so many cases, also like before we had on camera with McLaughlin, these cases are just starting to come out even more. What do you have to say to just like people that are doing this and they think they're just gonna, get away with it?
Well, the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office serves the entire whole of Maricopa County. So it doesn't matter if you're in Phoenix or Chandler or wherever you may be. If we get a report of animal abuse, we're going to investigate it very vigorously, and we're going to hold you accountable if you're abusing animals. End of story there. We're going to do what we can to make a very prosecutable case, submit it to the county attorney, and work with them to make sure that guys like that we arrested today stay behind bars as long as we can possibly keep them there.
Is Gila Bend, I don't know, is this rare for that area? You mentioned another person who maybe brought up some issues. Do we know if that's maybe a more common problem out that way? I don't know. That you've heard of?
Well, we've had 2 community meetings so far, and loose animals and animal abuse has been a topic at both of those meetings. And so one meeting happened to have been in Gila Bend, the other was in the Gila, both pretty remote areas for Maricopa County. But it seems to be a theme and something that we're picking up on and going to take seriously.
As far as scale and context, would you describe this as a small operation, medium? I'm remembering back to the French bulldogs where there were dozens in a house. So, how would you describe the scale?
It might be.
I mean, considering the amount of dogs, this is probably a larger scale when it comes to the type of dog, designer dog. We got Frenchies, we got King Corsos, obviously sought-out dogs. So this would be a larger scale investigation to what we're seeing, if that answers your question.
And you contend that it was a breeding operation as well?
Absolutely. That's what we have. That's what it appears to be right now. As the investigation unfolds and we continue to get more details, obviously we'll have an update for you guys. But definitely that's what it was, a breeding operation, a breeder breeding these dogs for sale and using social media as their platform to do it.
And I'm not big on understanding dogs. What makes these are two very popular breeds?
That's correct. You know, the French Bulldog is the #1 sought-out dog in the nation now, beating out the Golden Retriever and the Lab. So that makes one thing. And then the other thing is just the desire of people to have these dogs. Instead of going and paying, you know, thousands and thousands of dollars somewhere else, they get them from these dogs, maybe from these breeders a little bit cheaper, but you never know what you're getting. So obviously we don't encourage that type of behavior.
Do we know if this guy lived at that property?
I don't know if he lived there. This was a property that he was definitely using as remote, like, breeding area. And forgive me, he's a 38-year-old John David Jackson. And I know you guys have it in a press release, but I wanted to get that information to you guys. And we don't have information that he was actually living there. All we found there was obviously all the kennels and the dogs. And to what it appeared to us, he hadn't been there at least in over a couple of weeks.
It was registered to him.
That I don't have that information. I don't know if that was registered to him. Yeah.
Sorry if I spaced on this one, but was it just French bulldogs?
No, King Corsos, and we found one French bulldog. So 11 adult dogs and 7 puppies is what we have. 18 dogs total that are at the MASH unit now, and like I said, we're confident that we're going to be working with the county attorney to make sure that he's held accountable for these issues.
And the structures itself, was it outdoor kennels? Was it a house, just a shed?
Yeah, we're going to send you the pictures, but it's definitely structured for some type of breeding operation. You're going to see all the kennels on the outside. A lot of dogs were held on the side of the house. Just deplorable conditions for all these dogs all the way around.
Are you all still kind of maybe just taking a look at the surrounding properties to see if there's any more remains?
Absolutely. We have really good animal crimes detectives and detectives overall, and that's one of the things they do. It may start here, but where would it end? Another thing we were looking into, is there more properties somewhere else in the valley, up north? We're looking into all that. You know, even if it crosses jurisdictional boundaries, we're going to work with other authorities, state and local, to see if there's other possibilities that there's dogs somewhere else. And that's just the scope of this investigation. And we wanted to give you this investigation as soon as we could, and we were waiting for this arrest, and here we have it, and now you guys have it. And I'm going to close with this. We have a tips line, 602-876-TIPS. That's so important because out of this case, I am confident that there's going to be more information that's going to come in. Maybe a person bought a dog, didn't get a dog, knows information, has information on this suspect. That's going to be very helpful for our investigation to build a case and obviously submit it to the county attorney. So if there's anybody out there that has information, you can remain completely anonymous, 602-876-TIPS. So please let us know. Thank you, guys.
Hi, how's it going? My name is Hernan Pliego. We're here at Ocho Cafe, located on 7th Street and Bethany Home. We're a neighborly restaurant.